Welcome back to the Macro Habits Podcast. I am your host, Hannah. I am so excited about today's episode, you guys. It is going to be all about tracking macros, reverse dieting, body recomp. I did a Q&A on my Instagram, so I just pulled the most frequently asked questions, and I'm going to go through them one by one and really try to answer them in detail and give you guys more insight on reverse dieting, tracking macros, all that stuff. Before I get into that, though, we're starting off with my high and low of the week. I usually film these podcasts on Tuesdays. They come out on Friday morning. So it's Tuesday right now. You'll listen to this on Friday. So my low actually happened like 4 days ago, but it's so low that I have to share it, even though it's technically not this week. But it was a very traumatizing experience for me. And I'm going to, paint the picture for you guys, go into detail because it's still hard for me to talk about. I still get like a sick stomach when I talk about it, and you'll understand why as I get more into the story. But just to preface, I am a very type A person. Like my motto is clean car, clear mind, clean house, clear mind. Like I love having my things in order. I love when things are clean. I am a germaphobe. I am a clean freak. I'm self-aware. Okay. And my car is always really clean. I don't like to eat in my car. I'll drink my coffee, drink water or whatever. But like, I don't even like getting takeout and putting it in my car because I don't like my car to then smell like the takeout. Like when you have In-N-Out in your car and then it smells like In-N-Out for a week, like I can't do that. It's just, I hate that smell. I want my car to smell clean. I'm just kind of, like I said, really painting the picture for you guys, giving some context. So last week I noticed I got into my car on last Wednesday, and I was like, it kind of smells weird in here. I must have maybe spilled some milk from a coffee. Maybe something fell on the ground. So there was a few coffee cups kind of in the center. I grab them, throw them away from that morning. So it was like later that afternoon, but it was hot outside. So I was like, maybe like the milk is smelling weird. And then later that night, I kind of noticed the stench wasn't really going away, but I was so busy. I wasn't really giving it much energy. And then Thursday morning, I wake up, I go to my car, and the stench is still there. And I'm like, you know what? I really must have there has to be a coffee cup underneath my seat, or maybe, I don't know, something spilled. Sometimes I'll drink the Clean Simple Eats and the clear protein drinks. So maybe I drank one of those and didn't finish it and it fell under my car seat. Like I'm just thinking of all these different scenarios. So I take a wipe. I wipe down kind of like my car area. I wipe down my cup holders. Like I don't see any loose cans anywhere, but I'm thinking I must have spilled milk or something from the coffee. Okay. Thursday evening, I keep my windows cracked. Also, I had boxes in my car, and sometimes boxes can like make a weird stench in your car with the heat. So I threw out all the boxes. I was just taking them to the dump. And so I went to bed Thursday night. My windows were all cracked. My car was cleaned out, and I was like, all right, everything's going to be fine. Friday morning rolls around, I get up early. I have a full day. I have meetings, calls, appointments. Like I have a full Friday booked, and I walk down to my car at 6 a.m. to go to the gym. I open my car door and I get hit in the face with a stench so rancid. Like I was so appalled. I was like, oh my gosh, like what is in my car? Something is not right. The smell was so intense. I was like, there has to be like multiple coffee cups or like I'm like racking my brain, like what could I have spilled in my car? But there's something in my car, and I hadn't like really dove under my seats yet. So I grabbed my flashlight and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. Maybe there was like food. Maybe there was like a meat stick. That's also what ran through my head. Sometimes I'll eat like a chomp stick in my car, or a meat stick of some sort. So maybe like a half-eaten one got pushed down and it was like smelling weird. I don't know. So I get my flashlight. I stick my head underneath my car seat, and I come face to face with a dead rat. Okay? Talking about it still like gives me a visceral reaction. I'm like so uncomfortable talking about it because my face was so close to this dead rat. It wasn't a little mouse. Not that would have made it better, but like it was a rat and it was dead. I just was like, I jump back immediately. I start gagging. I start crying. And I would consider myself not a super dramatic person. I mean, I feel like people who say that are dramatic, but if you talk to any of my friends or my family, I'm pretty level-headed. I'm pretty calm demeanor, kind of a more serious demeanor, dry sense of humor. I'm not super energetic or like over the top. Like usually if my friend gets into an issue or has a problem, they call me and I kind of talk them off the ledge in a way. Okay. In this moment, I was having a full blown, like I was panicking. I call my mom immediately and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a dead rat in my car. What do I do? Like I'm on the street looking at my car and I don't know what to do. All the men in my life are sleeping. Okay. My boyfriend's sleeping. My neighbor down the street is sleeping, who I know is a guy. I'm trying to think of like guys I know that can come like take this dead rat out for me. Cause there's no way in hell I'm going in anywhere near the vicinity of that rat. Then my neighbor comes out I live in like a kind of like a condo style. My neighbor underneath me comes out and she just really saved the day. There was a little old man walking his dog in like the cul-de-sac and she starts yelling at him like, please sir, come help us. Like she has a dead rat in her car. And I was just so uncomfortable. I'm like, oh my gosh, this poor man. Like I don't want to inconvenience anyone. Like I just felt so bad, but also was so grateful that she was taking initiative and yelling at this old man to come get the rat out of my car. He comes over, he grabs the rat by the tail, okay? Grabs the dead rat by the tail. I am just so, once again, appalled and just in shock of this experience. He puts it in the trash. I was so grateful. It really restored my faith in men and just masculinity. Like he was a real man. Didn't need to go to man camp. He grabbed that rat and I am just so grateful. Then it's like 7:15 by then and the car detail shop doesn't open till 8 a.m. My mom was like, go get your car detailed. I'm like, yes. I'm like, actually, I need to go burn my car. I need to go sell my car. The thought of even being in my car is freaking me out because now my mind's starting to like go through all the scenarios of, okay, so if there's a dead rat in my car, it had to have been alive at one point. Like, how the hell did this thing get in my car? How long was it alive for? Was it crawling around as I was driving? Like, I'm just thinking of all these scenarios. Like, I was coexisting with a rat for multiple days. I'm drinking my coffee in the same area as this rat. Like, I'm like, do I have a disease? Do I need to go to the hospital? Like, all these thoughts are running through my head. I end up driving to the dealer or the detail place. It's like right down the street from me, thank goodness. And I have all my windows down. I am like crying. So I'm just like, I'm a hot mess. Okay. Really unwell about this experience. I pull into the detail shop and I'm like 5 minutes early. They're not open yet. And I'm like, please, can someone help me? Like I roll down my window. I'm like, I need help. There's a dead rat in my car. And these men come out. They're so sweet. I'm like freaking out. They are calming me down. They're like, no worries. Like we'll give you a full detail. I'm like, what's your best detail? Like, please, I need you to put your hazmat suits on and like bleach my car. I need every ounce of like my car clean and disinfected. Like I'm so stressed out about all this. And they reassured me that it'd be a 5-hour detail. I was paying for like the most intense detail possible. So I Ubered to the gym and worked out for a really long time, got myself back to a more zen state. Still shaken up, but I was a little more calm. I was like, okay, everything's gonna be fine. And then I go back to get my car. My car looks perfect. There's not 1 ounce of the smell. I am just like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. And then he pulls me aside, this sweet man who I love so much. He pulls me aside and he's like, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but there was rat poop in your glove box and you have a lot of stuff in that glove box. So that's something we didn't want to touch yet because we wanted to see if you wanted to take out some of this stuff. And I'm just like, once again, the sickest stomach, like, oh my gosh, like how long was this rat alive in my car for? That's going through my head in that moment. And I just go, can you open the glove box, take everything in the glove box and just put it in the trash? And he was like, oh no, there's like a lot of stuff in there. I'm like, no, I don't care. I'll replace everything. He's like, there's important car papers. I go, I don't care. If the rat has touched it, I don't want it. I will figure out how to replace everything. I need everything in that glove box to be in the trash immediately. And then can you please do your disinfectant process? Because the fact that there was rat poop in there is just like, I'm not okay. So anyway, they were so sweet. They threw away everything reluctantly, but I was like, no, throw it away. Like, I don't care about my car registration. I don't care about my insurance card. I'll get new ones. Okay. I still need to do that, but I will get new ones. Anyway, I'm just so happy that it's all clean. They cleaned it out. And he told me to. He really reassured me and made me feel better about the situation. He said it's really common if you park your car outside or by trees that rats or mice will climb in the engine because it's warm. And then what happens is they then travel through the engine, like into the glove box or through the steering wheel. And he's like, you actually had a really lucky situation. Most of the time, these rats will like have nests in the engine or in the glove box, and like they'll have babies in the car. Like, even talking about it, you guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am now feeling a little bit more grateful for my situation, because I'm like, well, at least there wasn't multiple rats, but it's bad enough there was a live rat in my car that I was coexisting with for who knows how long. But anyway, it's been resolved. The rat is no longer in my car. There's no remnants of the rat anywhere. I have invested in a lot of anti-rodent spray and things. So I have sprayed my entire car, my entire apartment, everywhere near, like literally outside of my apartment, my neighbor's apartment, my neighbors, you're welcome. I've sprayed everywhere with this like anti-rodent spray. It's all natural, so it's safe for humans and dogs and all that stuff. So no one freak out. But I spray it every morning around my car, every night around my car. I got these little pouches, like these little pouches with these essential oils that rats hate. And I put them in my glove box, in my trunk, near my door. I'm just so scared of rats now. It wasn't a fear I had. Like, I can smash a spider all day. I don't care about bugs. I'm not scared of them. I'm an independent woman. I'm 29. I can, handle things in the house. But rats are a no for me, and it's a new fear unlocked. And I really hope that no one ever has to deal with the situation that I dealt with. So that's my low of the week. And yeah, a very traumatizing low. Hopefully I'll never have to say this low again. Moving on to my high. So when I was in New York, I ate at this restaurant called Hillstone, and I'd seen it all over TikTok, and I was so excited to eat there. It ended up being the best food. I posted like kind of a carousel on my Instagram, and a few pictures of Hillstone were on there, but it's just like the best steak, ribs, really good food. My friend Maddie, who lives in New York, recommended it to me. She's like, we have to go to Hillstone. You're going to love it. And I loved it. It was so good. And she told me, Maddie, she grew up in Southern California, and she was like, there's this restaurant called Bandera. You need to go. It's like the same dishes as the Hillstone restaurant. Like, apparently they're all connected. It's like Hillstone, R&D, Gulfstream, Bandera, Houston's, if I'm correct from what she said. So I went to Bandera. It was so good. The steak was amazing. The ribs are amazing. If you live in Orange County and you go to Bandera, DM me and I'll send you my exact order, because it was the best food, such a good restaurant experience. The waiters and waitresses were so nice. It was a really fun night. So that was my high of the week. Okay, now we're going to move on to macros, reverse dieting. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of go through these questions that I did a Q&A box. So I pulled the most frequently asked ones, and I'm just kind of go through them in detail. First one is, what is reverse dieting? So I get this question all the time, because reverse dieting is something that I specialize in. Even when I started Macro Habits, I had reverse dieted myself, and it was a time where reverse dieting wasn't talked about a lot. It was more so like the bulking, like the really intense bulk to cut era, and reverse dieting was just kind of being talked about. And I listened to a podcast on it, and then I realized, wow, I really need to reverse diet. So I reverse dieted myself. And that kind of was the catalyst of me starting Macro Habits. Was like, I had such good results from it. And I was like, wow, every single girl needs to do this, because so many girls are living in these low calorie deficits. So reverse dieting is gradually increasing your calorie intake after a period of calorie restriction. And sometimes these are intentional calorie restrictions, and sometimes people just have low calorie maintenances, like they've kind of lived in their deficit too long, and now they're stuck, because if they eat like a normal amount of calories throughout the day, they gain weight because their body's like holding on to it because they're not fueling their bodies properly. You can experience metabolic adaptation from this. This is where reverse dieting is just the next step, because it's going to repair your metabolism. It's going to help your hormone health, improve your relationship with food. There's just so many benefits when you properly reverse diet. So that is what reverse dieting is: slowly increasing your calories over a long period of time. And in my business, I do have custom macro plans. So I write 6, 8, 10, and 12 week custom independent reverse dieting plans. So there's 6, 8, 10, or 12 macro splits that you follow over a certain period of time. And usually with these plans, like all these plans are written like I write them. I don't do repeat plans. I don't use set ratios. I'm very passionate about making sure that I'm writing a plan that is tailored to that client. And that's also why my programs are so successful. And I have hundreds of testimonials on my Instagram and on my website because I'm writing plans for that person. I believe that you should be on a different macro plan than your friend and your sister and your mom. Like everyone needs to be at a certain macro split based on a wide variety of factors. So I just am very passionate about making sure that your reverse dieting plan is made for you and is going to be in line with your goals, whether that's repairing your metabolism, furthering body recomp, increasing lean muscle mass and losing body fat, repairing your relationship with food, improving your hormones. Like there's just the benefits of reverse dieting properly are endless, and I am very passionate about it. So I do write custom independent plans. You can always go on my website, fill out the start form, and I send you a very extensive questionnaire. You fill out that questionnaire, I can see all your information, see your 3-day food recall, and be like, okay, based on, X, Y, and Z, I recommend you do a 6-week reverse, or I recommend you do a one-time macro count. And these are all independent plans. My one-on-one coaching is separate, but if you're curious about reverse dieting, you're scared to do it, and you need guidance, that part of my business is definitely what I recommend. Okay. So, and I kind of just went into the next question is why reverse diet? I kind of touched on that, but repairing your relationship with food or improving your relationship with food. A lot of the time when you get stuck in a low calorie deficit, food starts to become the enemy. The food noise gets really loud too. When you tell yourself you can't have something, you end up wanting it 10 times more. That's also why I'm very anti-cheat meal, anti-cheat day. I talked about this in a previous episode, and I will die on that hill. And I'm very passionate about not doing cheat meals or cheat days. I used to do them back in the day, and my relationship with food was really bad at that time. So it can really help repair your relationship with food because it allows you to eat more, and you're improving your metabolism, you're speeding up your metabolism, you're boosting it, you're putting on more muscle, which means you're increasing your BMR, you're losing body fat, you're really honing into the body recomposition phase. So that is why I would recommend reverse dieting. It's also really good for energy levels and your overall strength. If you're looking to put on, you want to feel stronger in the gym, you want to have more energy, food is fuel, and eating the right quantities of food is going to fuel you so you feel better throughout your day, better in your workouts, you sleep better, and all that stuff. Okay. What do you think about carbs in the evening? This is a really good question and this is a question I get all the time. I feel like this might be a controversial question. A lot of people have opinions on carbohydrates in general, carb timing. Should you eat carbs at night? Should you eat the majority of your carbs in the morning? Some people say yes to that. Some people say no, you'll feel sluggish all day. There's a lot of different opinions out there. So I understand this question can sometimes have an overwhelming response. My kind of short answer, I'll expand on this, but it's kind of calories in versus calories out. The reason I like tracking macros is because I have a certain number of carbs that I'm eating throughout the day. So I try to stay balanced in my carbohydrate intake. I try to have, depending on my day, 15 to 35 grams of carbs with different snacks and meal, which adds up to a higher number at the end of the day. I try not to bulk my carbs into one meal because usually if I eat, 85 grams of carbs in my breakfast, that might make me feel a little sluggish. That's going to, spike my blood sugar. I might have that lethargic feeling. So I think, carb timing can be important in that realm. And also the types of carbs you're consuming is important. Are you having fiber with your carbohydrates? Are you eating, bad carbs, which are, high sugary foods? Are you doing soda and donuts, pancakes, all of that is kind of going to elicit that lethargic feeling. But if you're eating complex carbohydrates and you're spacing them out well throughout the day, you're going to feel good. And I'm going to go back to that question of carbs at night specifically. I eat carbs at night. I don't think there's anything wrong. I usually have a treat every night, as you guys see on my what I eat in a days, or I'll pop on stories and be like, oh, I'm making this treat tonight, whether it's my, Powder's hot chocolate, or I'm having a little ice cream, going out to frozen yogurt with my friend, or making a little Greek yogurt dessert bowl. There's usually 30 to 40 grams of carbs in those treats. The hot chocolate one is definitely a lower carb one, but I am not anti-carb at night. And recently, you guys, this has been kind of my little late night obsession, but I have been drinking a glass of whole milk before I go to bed. I have been sleeping amazing, and my workouts in the morning have been amazing. So right now I'm on this glass of milk at night kick, and I do the I kind of like switch up my milk choices. Sometimes I'll do the Fairlife 2%. Sometimes I'll do the A2 milk, or I'll do the Horizon whole milk. I switch it up, but sometimes I'll do chocolate milk too if I'm really feeling it. But a glass of milk before bed, wow. I feel like my glycogen stores are full in the morning. I'm sleeping better. And so yeah, I'm not anti-carb at night, but I definitely think you always need to listen to your body. And if you're eating too many carbs at night and you're waking up feeling bloated or waking up feeling sluggish or feeling sluggish after, that's maybe a sign to you that you need to redistribute your carbs differently throughout the day based on how your body feels. I think it's really important, even with the information that I put out, you know your body best. No one is in your body besides you. So if something that works for me, let's say, for example, like drinking a glass of milk, I'm like, this is working amazing, I'm feeling so good. And you go and drink a glass of milk and you have a stomachache after, I wouldn't encourage you to drink that glass of milk every night, you know? So I think it's always important to take what you want, leave what you don't, and then take what you want, try it. And if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. Move on to the next thing. I'm going to get on a tangent right now, but I'm just going to go on this tangent because I think it's important in social media to have the mentality of taking what you want and leaving what you don't with any platform you follow. You're not going to agree with everyone on everything, and that is perfectly okay and normal. I'm currently getting roasted right now for a reel that I just posted about. I did like a Botox vlog of come get Botox with me. This is what I do, because I'm transparent about that. And I think there's nothing wrong with sharing it. I'm just sharing my experience. I like to make videos that I also like to watch, and I love watching girls' vlogs of what they do with aesthetics and facials, skincare, Botox, you know, all the things. And so I did a vlog, and I am just getting, you know, eaten alive online. And I knew that video was maybe going to have a few negative comments, and I'm okay with some negative comments. Like, I like my reasons for doing things. I like my face. I like the Botox that I get, and I love my injector. I trust her. I want to promote her. I think she's incredible. Her name is Molly. She works at Skin Spirit, and she is incredible. And she's told me multiple times, like, I've gone into her and been like, I really want to do this. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that to you. You don't need that. That's not going to enhance your features. It's only going to do more harm than good in the long run. And I trust her, and I appreciate her honesty. So anyway, I was just honest with what I did with Botox, and people were very unhappy about it. And they were kind of putting me in this box of, you preach health and you preach fitness, but you get Botox, and that's really going against everything you're saying. And I'm like, I don't think me getting Botox makes me an unhealthy person. A lot of people get Botox and don't talk about it. A lot of people get filler and don't talk about it. A lot of people get surgical procedures and don't talk about it. And that is okay. That is their decision. I know that I'm not required to go on my platform and be like, I get X, Y, and Z. But I also feel like it's something I want to share, and I like to be transparent about that stuff. I think it's important. And I just was a little bit surprised about the amount of like hate I got from that. So just like I'm telling you, like, take what you want and leave what you don't from other people you follow, like, have that same mentality with me. You do not have to agree with everything I say. You don't have to agree with everything that I do. I hope that I can provide, you know, some type of knowledge and, you know, good content when it comes to tracking macros and recipes, workouts, you know, inflammation hacks, and all the stuff that I share and I'm really passionate about. But yeah, long tangent there. So anyway, going back to what I think about carbs in the evening, I don't think they're bad at all. I think try eating something that's maybe a little higher in carbs in the evening, see how you feel. And if you feel good, maybe keep doing it. But like I said, always listen to your body, and you can always pivot and adjust based on how you're feeling. Okay. I know I got off on quite a long tangent there, but I want to talk about carb timing just a little bit, because if you are feeling lethargic after you have carbs, even like fibrous ones, or you're just not feeling your best, that could be a sign that your body does better with a little bit of a higher fat, moderate carb, high protein macro split. So you might want to get your macros readjusted. Before a workout, I usually work out fasted in the morning just because I wake up really, really early, 4:35 a.m. So I'm working out early. I'm just not hungry. I think that's why a glass of milk has been so key at night, because it's like I said, it's filling my muscles, kind of my glycogen stores before my workout in the morning. But you can do like a fast digesting carb before your workout if you are feeling kind of you don't have enough energy in your workouts, you're kind of dragging in your workouts. That is a sign that you're maybe not fueling your body properly for that workout. So You can be a little bit intentional with carb timing, also eating carbs after your workout to help with recovery. And then evening carbs can improve sleep. But like I said, listen to your body. Everyone's different. Okay, next question. Sorry, I spent a lot of time on that one. Also, down below in the comments, let me know what type of style of podcast you guys like. Do you like the Q&As? Do you like when I talk about health, fitness, wellness? Do you like when I kind of talk more about taboo topics or maybe things that are more personal to me, relationship, religion? Do you want a little bit of everything? As I'm navigating this podcast and as I've started it, I'm kind of talking about a little bit of everything, but I want to know what you guys want to hear and what's going to resonate with you most, what you're most interested in, all that stuff. Okay, how long should I be at maintenance before going into another cut? So this one is very situational. I would say in general, 8 to 12 weeks, sometimes maybe along the 12 to 16 week realm, depending on how aggressive your previous cut was. You should only go into a deficit, one, if you have a high enough maintenance number, so you can go into a cut at a healthy caloric number. I don't put anyone into a cut under 1,700 calories, and I'm very passionate about that. Anyone who does a cut macro split from me knows you have to reverse diet properly first, so you can go into a cut at a healthy number. That way you can be in that caloric deficit for 6 to 10 weeks and feel good. You're not going to ruin your relationship with food. You're not going to wreck your hormones. You're not going to have these insane cravings, and you're not going to have this too low of cuts can turn into unhealthy binge cycles as well. So you have to be at a high enough maintenance before you go into a deficit. Also, you want to make sure that your hunger levels and energy are normal before you go into a cut. So with maintenance, you should be having really good energy levels. You should be having enough calories to kind of satisfy you throughout the day. You should be feeling really good in your workouts at maintenance. You should be kind of at optimal. You should be feeling really good, strong, energized throughout the entire workout. Sometimes in a cut, it can affect your workouts, which is normal. I can go more into detail with that in a different episode. But your training performance should be top tier in maintenance. And then you should make sure that you're sleeping good, your hormones are regulated, your cycle is, if you're a girl, your cycle is regulated, your stress is good. All of those are indicators that you could be ready to go into a deficit if you want to see more body recomp results. But I think a lot of the time, which I used to do this, you jump into that cut too quickly because you're just so anxious to see results. But if you're consistent with your macro split in maintenance and you're eating kind of like that 80-20, 80% whole foods, 20% processed, you're nailing your workouts, you're sleeping good, you should still be seeing good body recomp results. They're not going to come as fast, but they will come over time with consistency. So going into a cut, you want to make sure that you're at a healthy number. I just can't stress that enough, because if you go into a cut and you go too low, you're going to burn out. It's going to create binging cycles. It's going to ruin your relationship with food. I've been there. I have been in those cycles before, and it is just so discouraging. You feel like such a failure. So I'm very passionate about healthy deficits. If you're curious about, like I said, if you are listening to this, and you're like, I just have no idea where to start, go fill out the start form on my website and I will send you an extensive questionnaire and we'll kind of take it from there. Okay. How to safely lose weight postpartum. So I preface, I'm not a doctor. I don't have a certificate in postpartum. I do have a lot of knowledge with postpartum. I have certain certificates in nutrition coaching and all of that stuff and credentials. But I think you should always consult your doctor first. I am going to give my advice, but make sure you always consult your doctor if you have further questions. So postpartum clients are my favorite clients in my one-on-one, because I feel like postpartum moms just have this kind of fire underneath them to see results. I recommend starting a program 6 to 10 weeks postpartum. I don't know what it's like to be postpartum, but I've coached hundreds of postpartum moms. And from the general consensus, most postpartum moms are very excited to see results. They're motivated. It's also nice to have accountability when you're postpartum. I feel like with my postpartum clients, they've really leaned on me, and it's been really nice for them to have me to kind of hold them accountable, tell them what to do. Like, they are taking care of their baby. They're probably taking care of multiple kids sometimes, they're married, like they have a husband, they have a lot of people that they're giving energy to. And then I'm there, or one of my coaches is there to then be their sounding board, help them and give them accountability, which I think is really important and beneficial for a postpartum mom's mental health as well. So safely losing weight postpartum, I recommend doing my program. I recommend doing my 12-week one-on-one program, because you're getting 12 weeks of one-on-one coaching where your coach holds your hand. They help you keep your milk supply up. That's a question I get all the time. A lot of my postpartum moms are breastfeeding, and that's obviously something that we are very aware of. And we keep your milk supply up to make sure your baby is fed well and all that stuff. But I would say majority of like my best testimonials from that 12-week one-on-one are postpartum moms, just because they seem to see more body recomp results quicker, because breastfeeding does boost your metabolism, and you do have like a higher kind of total daily energy expenditure. But also they're just so dialed, and they're so disciplined, and they're just like ready to kick it into high gear. So if you are postpartum though, I recommend starting. People ask me to like, when should I start working out postpartum? Like I said, always consult your doctor. But if you have a vaginal birth, usually it's around like 6 to 7 weeks postpartum. C-sections anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks postpartum. But your doctor should clear you to work out. And some good exercises that you can do postpartum are bird dogs, resistant band training, glute bridges. You just want to keep it really simple. Focus on mind to muscle connection, focus on breath work and like proper core engagement. A lot of the time you can have ab separation and stuff like that. So safely losing weight postpartum is very possible. And I recommend doing my 12-week one-on-one if you're looking for that type of accountability and structure. Okay. Do I ever weigh myself? The short answer is no. I don't own a scale. I have a food scale where I weigh out my food, but I don't weigh myself. Let's see here. How long ago was this? Like maybe 5 years ago now. It was when I had a very unhealthy relationship with food, and I would wake up every morning and weigh myself. And I actually got into the habit of that too in high school, which is so sad. I look back and I'm like, that's just sad. I am, one thing about me is there's going to be no scales in my house. Like, I don't want my kids weighing themselves. I just feel like it was a different time back then too. But I don't weigh myself because I got into a very unhealthy cycle with weighing myself. I would wake up every morning, weigh myself, and that would dictate my day. It would dictate what I wore. It would dictate what I ate. It would dictate how I felt about myself. Just that number on the scale had so much power over me, and I have fully overcome that. I don't weigh myself. The only time I weigh myself is if I do an in-body scanner or a DEXA scan where I can see my body fat, muscle mass, water weight, like bone density, all of those components. So I could care less about the number on the scale now. I truly it never crosses my mind. Even when I do the in-body scanner, I'm looking at the data of it, not the number on the scale. So if you are weighing yourself every day, this is your sign to go home, take your scale, and throw it in the trash. It's not doing you any good. I really have never met a girl where weighing themselves frequently throughout the week or every day has been good for their physique, progress, body recomp journey, mental health. I don't think it does any good. I'm like very anti-weighing yourself. And in my program, my one-on-one program, we don't do weigh-ins. We go off progress pictures, measurements, how your clothes are fitting. If a client weighs themselves, they're required to text their coach. And then the coach can kind of monitor how much they're weighing themselves. I do not weigh myself, and I don't encourage it. I don't condone it. I'm here telling you right now, if you're listening to this, go in your bathroom, grab this scale and throw it away. Start tracking your progress with progress pictures. Go put a bikini on and take a front, side, and back picture. Do them every Friday. Or I even get the measuring tape. I think doing measurements is great. Your waist, your thighs, your arms. Like if you want to see how your body's changing, that's another good way. Or go get on the in-body scanner and do the in-body scanner every month to track your body fat and your muscle mass. Like I really don't like the scale. And I feel like you can hear that in how passionately I'm talking about how much I hate it. So for the last time, go throw away the scale that you weigh yourself on because it's not doing anything good for you. Okay, did you ever lose your cycle? And if so, how did you gain it back? So my period. Oh, this is a whole other podcast episode, you guys. I just have so much to share. I feel like I could just word vomit to you guys all day. So I have lost my cycle before, and I actually didn't have a period for 7 years because I had the IUD for 7 years. So I've been birth control free now for it's been like a year and a half, I think. But I had 2 IUDs over the course of 7 years. If you guys want me to go into detail about my IUD journey, I'd be happy to do an in-depth, vulnerable episode on that. I'm not going to go too much into detail on it right now, but when I got my second IUD out, I didn't have my cycle for I think it was 4 months. And what I did to get my cycle back was I increased my fats. My fats are way higher than they used to be now compared to 2 years ago. So I used to sit around 48 to 55 grams of fat during that time. And I have slowly increased my fats more to the 75 to 85, 90 sometimes too. I would say on average, my fat intake is around 80 grams a day. Right now, it can ebb and flow, but I feel really good with high fats, and it's definitely helped regulate my cycle. So increasing your fats, reverse dieting. Reverse dieting will help you get your cycle back. I've seen it in hundreds of girls. If you're not fueling your body properly, that can affect your hormonal health and it can affect your cycle. You can always go to your doctor too. I think it's important to, talk to your doctor, see what they recommend. But it's definitely in my opinion, a red flag if you aren't getting a regular period every month. The Oura Ring has also been really nice for me because I've been able to track my cycle to the T and kind of see the different phases I'm in with my follicular phase, luteal phase, which I could do a whole other podcast episode on too about how much I hate the luteal phase. I do think I've hacked the luteal phase though. I will say the last couple months I've hacked it and I felt really good in my luteal. So I can always talk about that in next week's episode if you guys want to hear more about that. But yeah, I love the Oura Ring because it'll track your cycle. It also tell you too, you might start your period today. That happens too. And it's always right. It's crazy. So I have had a regular cycle the past 5 months. I've had a regular period, which is really exciting for me because it's taking me over a year to regulate it. And I've had months too. I'll have 2 or 3 months where I'll get it and then a month where I don't get it or it's really, really off. So I'm kind of now regulated with my period, which makes me really happy. But I know that can be really stressful when you don't have one and you can fixate on it, which then just makes it worse. So I would say if you don't have a cycle or you don't have a regular cycle, talk to your doctor and then maybe think about reverse dieting or getting an updated macro split, increasing your fats, all that stuff. The last question is, what are signs you need to reverse diet? I kind of touched on this in the beginning of the episode a little bit, but I'm going to go through a list of signs that are common signs that reverse dieting could be your next step. And first is you're at a very low calorie intake and you are not seeing results anymore. So you're plateauing at low calories. This is, I feel the most common one is girls get stuck in their calorie deficits. And then if they eat like a normal human or eat 2,000 calories a day, they go into a surplus, which then causes water retention or weight gain if they do it multiple days in a row. That's where reverse dieting is so amazing because you gradually increase your calorie intake over time. It's a very, very small amount each week. And also we're tracking macros here, not just calories. So you're very intentional with what you're eating when it comes to your breakdown of protein, fats, and carbohydrates. I think that tracking macros is way more efficient for body composition or body recomp than just tracking calories because you can hit your calories with anything, but with macros, you have to be more specific. You don't have to cut foods out. You don't have to cut out sugar or cut out treats at all. I love all those things, but I definitely have a better sense of portions and I am much more intentional with the types of foods that I'm choosing to hit my macros. So if you're in a low calorie deficit or you're stuck at a calorie deficit or just stuck at your certain calorie number, reverse diet. Low energy and poor workout performance. If you're feeling super low energy in your workouts or just low energy in general, hormonal issues, missed periods, low libido. Low libido is another one. I used to struggle with this. I feel like when I got stuck in a calorie deficit a while ago, I definitely noticed a change in my libido. So if you're struggling with that, reverse dieting can be very beneficial. If you're freezing all the time, cold hands, cold feet, I struggle with this, but I also have hypothyroidism, which is like I said, another kind of thing I can talk about in a different episode if you guys are curious about how I kind of deal with hypothyroidism, how I found out I had it, what I do to manage it, all that stuff. Mood swings and food obsession and like loud food noise. Those are also signs to reverse diet. And then diet fatigue, like I said, kind of just going back to if you've been at the same number of calories for a long time or you're stuck in a calorie deficit. Reverse dieting is your next step. Don't be scared to reverse diet. I just want to like preach that. Don't be scared to eat more of the right foods. Don't be scared to follow a plan. I really think having a reverse dieting plan is so helpful. I'm not just saying that because I sell them and it's part of my business. I just know for me, when I have a plan, I end up doing way better. I have more peace of mind and I'm much more motivated rather than you trying to do it by yourself. There's been times where I've gotten different coaches to give me different macro plans based on my goals, and coaches need coaches. So I really think it's beneficial to have a structured reverse dieting plan. Another nice thing about that is, and this is the last thing I'll touch on, if you are only eating like, for example, let's say you're only averaging 50 grams of protein a day. If you go online and type in what should my macro, or go to ChatGPT and say, what should my macro split be at with your age, height, weight, workout, all that stuff, it's going to tell you to eat like 145 grams of protein. If you go from 50 grams of protein a day to 145 grams of protein the next day, you are going to have a stomach ache, constipation, you're going to be really full, you're going to have indigestion, severe bloating. Like, you have to slowly work up to a higher protein intake. That's another thing why I love reverse dieting, because you can gradually increase things so you're not shocking your body. I always get sad when I hear someone have a really bad experience with tracking macros because they just followed a macro split that their friend was doing or one they found online, and they go from eating 40 to 50 grams of protein a day all the way up to like 160 a day, and they do it for 3 days. They feel awful. They have, like I said, indigestion, severe bloating. They might feel like lethargic, kind of bogged down. Like, you have to like adjust your body to protein. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions about reverse dieting or any other questions in the tracking macro realm, you can always DM me or drop your question down below. Maybe I'll do a part 2 of this, or even a part 3. I feel like I could talk. I mean, there were so many questions I got on that story, so I could definitely do a part 2 and 3 if you guys are interested. But that is all for today. And like I said, I launched my podcast on Friday. So I hope you're having a great Friday. Hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week.